Hi, this is Brian Gibbons, and this is the segment about winning with lease options, but just for real estate investors. Now, many of our students are real estate investors and their agents. Now, I want to compare what we do with lease option assignments and sandwich lease options with wholesaling. And it's the easiest way. A lot of people know a lot about wholesaling. They know flipping and they know wholesaling. Now, what's the objective with the seller? The objective is to get the price as cheap as possible. Now, why do you need it as cheap as possible? Well, the first reason is you have to sell your contract to a contractor rehab specialist. And this person is going to improve the property and sell it with an agent for a profit. That makes sense, right? So here's an example. Let's say that after repaired value is $200,000. So you need to go 70% of a after repaired value and then add on your repairs. And that's your price. Well, you need a lot of equity for that, don't you? What we specialize in is helping sellers maximize their equity dollars. Now, wholesaling is a bit adversarial with the seller, isn't it? Because you have to push that price down with the seller. And one of my mentors was Ron LeGrand a long time ago. And that statement says, "What's the cheapest you'll take for the property today? Is that the best you can do?" And you just keep pushing it down. Well, I get a lot of students that come to me and they go, "I don't want to do wholesaling anymore because I'm just, you know, I'm really tired of this." I mean, I had one wholesaler that did 10 deals and he just said, I'm not going back to sellers and pushing the price down anymore. I feel like a jerk." So what's the alternative with the seller? Well, what we do is we sit down with the seller and says, "Mr. Seller, there's three things you can do. You can sell with cash with an agent. If you don't have any equity, then you're going to have to break an investment or borrow the money to get rid of your house." And that's a choice. A second choice you can have is you can rent it out. And you do have to risk some things when you rent it out. A lot of times the landlord-tenant relationship is adversarial, and that tenant doesn't really care about your particular situation. They're not a partner with you, and if they're late on their rent or they damage the property or don't communicate with you about repairs that are timely, you know, that's it's on you. And if you hire a property manager to do that for you, that costs you 10% of collected rent, which pulls away from your profit. And also, some property managers are terrible. So what else can you do? Here's the last choice. The last choice really that's a positive choice besides the negative choices of short sale and bankruptcy and everything else. This is called lease purchase, Mr. Seller. Now, what if we could do the following? What if we could find a great family that loves this house, they'll take care of it, that'll maintain it because they want to buy it, but they just miss financing. You wouldn't believe how many buyers right now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, really need help just for about 6 to 12 months. All they need to do is go through our credit improvement program, which basically increases their FICO score by about 50 to 100 points over the course of 6 to 12 months. Once they have improved FICO, then they're ready to go get that mortgage. And when we help them, they're very appreciative and they're very coachable as opposed to a tenant that could care less. So, how do you get started, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? Well, you need to okay this paperwork. And what this is a letter of intent. And it basically gives us permission to enter into a lease and an option to purchase agreement. And then as you see down below, that our intention is to assign our particular agreement to a buyer that we feel will be able to get a mortgage within 6 to 12 months. Now, it doesn't cost you anything, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. And basically, it only takes 30 to 45 days to do. And here's some articles from the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and Washington Post and Barron's that describe seller financing and lease options as far as a viable tool to help you sell your property. So I can only hope that you can see the value in this and get top sales price and avoid a sales commission, and also avoid seller's concessions, which is 3 to 6%. And if you misprice the property, then the danger is you're going to have to do a price reduction if you deal with an agent or a for sale by owner. So as you can see, there's a lot of benefits, but you got to ask yourself, can I wait for my profit and turn my residence into an investment property and take the tax benefits of that? If the answer is yes, we'll get started right away and solve this problem in 30 to 45 days. So that's the language that we use to talk to sellers. And we do that as a presentation. If you want to do that kind of work as a real estate investor instead of the flipping business or the wholesaling business, please let us know. You'll see the contact details here. And I look forward to talking to you one-on-one and build a business that can help you profit after all costs for over $100,000. I want to thank you so much for listening to this particular recording. I look forward to working with you one-on-one, building a lease option assignment business. Thanks for visiting us at winwinleaseoptions.com. That's winwithleaseoptions.com. I look forward to dealing with you and helping you get your goals met. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.